Okay, Turkey, you know, uh, 85 above 85 million population live in Turkey right now, and in Turkey, survey was conducted by religious life, religious belief, religious education. Maybe is new, maybe 30 or 30 years. And you know, in European countries, maybe 100 years survey religious life and older than Turkey. But Turkey is presence of religious affairs conducted a survey 2000 years. And the survey's result, my presentation generally was mentioned Presidency of Religious Affairs survey. This survey is very comprehensive. For example, participating and comprehending all of Turkey, all of region, for example, about 35 house surveys participate. And as we looked at this survey, 99.2% of the people living in Turkey declare that they are Muslims, while 0.4% state that they belong to religions other than Islam or that they do not belong to any religion. And as we can see, religious sect, this sect is Islamic sect. For example, Islamic law sect, or some of them is historical sects. For example, Hanafi, Shafi, Hanbali, Maliki, Jafiri. 77.5% Hanafi, 11.1% Shafi, 0.1% Hanbali, 0.003% Maliki, and 1% Jafiri. When we looked at this table, the majority sect in Turkey is Hanafi, generally in Turkey, but the eastern Turkey, for example, Diyarbakır, Mardin, and another city, generally Shafi, another sect, and Hanbali is very little, Maliki is very little, and Jaferi is Istanbul or the eastern country, 1% Jaferi in Turkey. In addition to this, this table, there are those who do not belong to any sect, as well as those who do not know what their sect is. And as we can see, the different religious groups, and maybe you can see this above picture on the left, just only in Turkey, this church, Iron Church. It was made iron, Demonte Church, and right is Syrian Church, Deir Zafaran, Eastern Turkey, and also left Catholic Church in Taksim, San Antonio, and right Jewish synagogues in Turkey. And as we can see, the religious groups, except the Islamic and other religious groups, Armenian, most people in Turkey, non-Muslims, in Armenians, generally they have been Istanbul, Skenderun, and Hatay. Yazidis, 50,000 Siirt, Batman, Mardin, Urfa, and Diyarbakır. This city is generally Eastern Turkey. Yazidis live generally is Eastern Turkey. Catholics, 35,000 in Turkey live in Turkey, but Catholics, two groups. You know, Latin groups and the Eastern Catholic Church, for example, Chaldean, Syrian Catholic, and for example, Melkite Catholic, but little less than another. These groups, 20,000 Eastern Catholic or Uniate Church, and 15,000 is Latin Catholic. Generally, Latin Catholic in Istanbul or Izmir, and Eastern Catholic, Istanbul also, the Eastern Turkey, Mardin, Diyarbakır, and another Eastern Turkey. And another group, Assyrians, to 20,000. They live generally Mardin, Istanbul, Mersin, and Diyarbakır. Is Eastern generally. And Jewish, 15,000, generally live in Istanbul. Baha'i, 10,000. And Orthodox Church, Greek Orthodox and Turk Orthodox, less than 10,000 the population. As we can see, the faith, sorry, this table. Faith of religion. Faith of religion, prophets, belief in God, belief in Qadr, belief in divine books, belief in angels, day of judgment, resurrection, but another issue. The overwhelming majority of people living in Turkey are believers. According to the survey conducted in 53 provinces of Turkey between November 2008 and March 2009, 92% of the participants state that the meaning of life is strengthened by the presence of Allah or God. 93% of the participants state that they accept the existence of Allah as a fact and have no doubt about his existence. 2% of the participants consider themselves as atheists. 95% of the participants stated that they acquired their belief in God at a very young age, and they carried this belief throughout their lives without any change. In the survey conducted by the Pew Research Center, maybe you know, it's center of the United States, is very important research center, Pew Research Center, and in 2019 years, 75% of Turkish people say that religion is important in their lives. On the other hand, Turkey has the highest rate among European countries, with 75% of answers given to the question, just this question. It's necessary to believe in God in order to be moral and have good values. And religious affairs, presidential religious affairs, as we can see the survey, 20 and 14 years, 98.7% of the citizens living in Turkey believe in the existence of Allah or God without any doubt. There is no extreme difference between rural, urban, male, female, and over the age of 18 to 65 in believing in the existence of Allah. While the rate of illiterate people who do not doubt the existence of Allah is 99.7%, this rate is 94.8% for undergraduate and graduate students. The rate of those who believe that the Quran is true and valid for all times is 96.5%. 1% say that they do not agree with this. 1.6% say that they do not have any opinion. The number of people who believe in the hereafter, the resurrection hereafter, is also quite high in Turkey. The rate of those who believe that people will be resurrected after that and that they will give an account for their actions is 96.2%. Also, religious practices, praying, faith, profession, almsgiving, zakat, fasting, pilgrimage is very important. The Prophet Muhammad said in one of his words on the subject, Islam has been built on 5 pillars, testifying that there is no God but Allah, and that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah, performing the prayers, paying the zakah, making the pilgrimage to the house, and fasting in Ramadan. The Hadith, Bukhari, Iman 8. As we can see, religious practice, firstly, prayer, salah, in Arabic term. Praying 5 times a day is obligatory for Muslims who have reached the age of puberty and are of sound mind. In addition, the Friday prayer, Friday prayer, congregational prayer performed in the congregation is one of the obligatory prayers. Salat is the Islamic prayer. Salat consists of 5 daily prayers: Fajr, Zuhur, Asr, Maghrib, and Isha. Each prayer consists of a certain amount of rakats. In Salat, people have to pray 5 times a day to Mecca. They go on 3 knees, they cross their hands, and they blow and pray. When they put the movements together, they sing and pray to Allah for thanks. And as we can see, survey of the Presidency of Religious Affairs in Turkey. While the rate of Muslims in Turkey performing the Friday prayer and congregational prayer is high, it's lower in the 5 daily prayers. 5 daily prayers lower than congregational prayer. The rate of those who always pray 5 times a day is in Turkey 42.5%, and this rate is even higher in women. It's very important. Women is higher than men. As the age increases, the rate of those who pray 5 times a day also increases. The highest level is over 65 years old. On the other hand, as the level of education increases, the proportion of those who always perform the 5 daily prayers decreases. Also, the same survey is mentioned. Muslims in Turkey attach great importance to the Friday prayer performed in congregation, and the rate of participation in it's quite high compared to the 5 daily prayers. In general, men go to the Friday prayers, and 57.4% of men throughout the country always perform Friday prayers. As the level of education increases, the rate of performing the Friday prayer decreases. As the level of education increases, and the rate of performing the Friday prayer decreases. But this difference is not as much as in the 5 daily prayers. On the other hand, 7.2% of men and 92.3% of women say that they never perform the Friday prayer. Because generally in Turkey, women don't go to the Friday prayer. Okay, religious practice fasting. Another practice is very important is Ramadan Mubarak, in the picture, you see. Muslims are required to fast during Ramadan, the ninth month of the Islamic calendar, during the 29, 30 days of Ramadan. Some of year 29, some of year 30, because the Islamic calendar is rural calendar. All adults, Muslims must give up the following things during the hours of daylight: food or drink of any sort, smoking, including passive of smoking. Although it's difficult to fast, which is kept in the form of giving up all eating and drinking between imsak and iftar times, the interest in fasting is more than praying 5 times a day. In Turkey, praying 5 times a day less than in Ramadan fasting time. As we can see, Presidency of Religious Affairs is mentioned in Turkey. The rate of those who say that they fast during Ramadan is 83.4%. While this rate is 80.7% for men, it's 86% for women. Unlike prayer, the rate of people who say that they fast in Ramadan decreases as age increases, while this rate is 85.1% in the 18 to 24 age group. It's 74.4% over the age of 65, because fasting is very difficult prayer, very difficult, and old man, old woman is very difficult implement this practice. As age increases, decrease the practice. Obligatory alms in Islamic terms, zakah. Zakah in Islam is the giving of certain percentage of their wealth to the poor by Muslims who are considered to be rich in religion. The people who can give zakah, the rate of zakah, goods, and who can receive zakah are explained in detail in Islamic sources. So as we can see, the presence of religious affairs is mentioned. The rate of those who give zakat every year is 71%. Of course, this rate is realized when the financial situation of the people is good. And all of people don't give the zakat because they must be a rich man or rich woman. A portion of 1.1% states that they do not give zakah even if their financial situation is good. The age group with the highest zakah prayers is 55 to 64 years old. Pilgrimage, Hajj, another name, Islamic terminology, occurs in the month of Zulhijjah, which is the 12th month of Islamic lunar calendar. It's the journey that every sane adult Muslim must undertake at least once in their lives if they can afford it and are physically able. The stages, holy places in Islam is detailed in the Quran and Hadith. In the Quran, Allah asked Muslims to visit the Kaaba and perform pilgrimage. He also said that this is his right over people. On the other hand, the Prophet Muhammad also stated that the first of 3 mosques to be traveled to is the Masjid al-Haram, Mecca, Kaaba. And the Ottoman time pilgrimage is very ceremonial. In Istanbul, for example, in Istanbul, Beşiktaş, another country, maybe a long travel to Mecca from Istanbul. Pilgrimage, the coordinatorship in Turkey, the coordinatorship of pilgrimage services in Turkey is carried out by the General Directorate of Hajj and Umrah, a unit under the Presidency of Religious Affairs. The relevant General Directorate takes the necessary measures inside and outside of Turkey and cooperates with stakeholder organizations for the efficient conduct of Hajj and Umrah. Due to the limited capacity of the places of pilgrimage, Saudi Arabia allocates quarterly countries at the rate of 1,000 of their population. Turkey's population is 85 million, and the percentage of Turkey every year, every 85,000, for example, and the rate of 1,000. The number of quarters allocated to Turkey is around 83,000 annually, and the number of applicants for pilgrimage is many times higher than this figure. Therefore, there are those who have the chance to go on pilgrimage within a year or two with this practice, as well as those who wait up to 10 years. For example, Turkey citizens, for women and men, application the religious affairs presidency, Hajj affairs, application maybe the chance 2 years later, maybe 10 years later, maybe 12 years later, because application is above application, but the admitted is very limited. Pilgrimage also, survey of the President's of Religious Affairs say that the rate of pilgrims in Turkey is 6.6%. Those who want to go on pilgrimage when the opportunity are 84.9%. People living in rural areas have a high rate of pilgrimage than those living in urban areas. As age increases, the rate of pilgrimage increases. On the other hand, the rate of men who have gone on pilgrimage is higher than women. But when men and women who want to go on pilgrimage are compared, it's seen that men are 82% and women are 87%, although the proportion of women who have gone on pilgrimage in the current situation is less than men. A desire to go in the future is higher. As you can understand this. Okay, Türkan?
Ahmed, sorry, we have time only for conclusion.
Okay, and you just finish this, Türkan. Religious knowledge, education, religious affairs, and high school, innovative school. And the native language of people in Turkey is Turkish. Generally, do not learn Arabic, grammatical Arabic, but a lot of people Quran, but not the grammar. Okay, conclusion. Considering the religious life in Turkey, the comprehensive research conducted by the Presidency of Religious Affairs in 2014 is an important data source on this subject. According to the research, the overwhelming majority of Turkish society, 99% to 99% of whom are Muslims, state that religion has an important place in their lives. On the other hand, all the worships such as prayer, fasting, pilgrimage, and zakah are given importance. The degrees of each are different from the other. In addition, the view of worship also varies in the criteria such as age, education level, living in the countryside or in the city. As the age increases, the tendency to worship increases. In addition, women are more fond of worship than men. As a result, in today's Turkey, the concept of religion not only has an important place in the public sphere, but also has a visibility in every part of life. However, different evaluations within the concepts such as belief, worship, and religious identity draw attention. Thank you very much.